If you're wondering, I'm looking tired because I try to go to bed. It's late at night, and I can't go to bed until I talk about this piece of fucking shit that I saw called Harbinger Down. And right off the bat, first off, people don't say that I wanted to hate this movie. It's quite the opposite. I was actually looking forward to this movie because I love practical effects. And yeah, I didn't hype it up that much because I knew it's a low budget film. It's not going to have a $50 million budget or $20 million budget or whatever. Even if this movie had great practical effects, I could not give it a pass because of a lot of the other fucking problems. But even the effects, when they're there, are subpar to say the least. And yeah, I know the whole story. The Aladilis wrote and directed this film. Him and Tom Woodruff Jr., who worked on this, worked on many films, worked with Stan Winston. They did the effects for The Thing 2011, that pre-made prequel, pre-cum bullshit. But their effects got washed over with CGI. They put the stuff that they did on YouTube and such. People liked it. I liked it. They're like, hey, we want to make a movie. And this was their promotion, by the way, for Kickstarter. This got funded on Kickstarter. It's like, hey, fans, get some money for us. And let us show the world that practical effects are here to stay. That we don't have to live in a world of just CGI. The practical effects to be here to stay. Alec Gillis, Tom Woodruff Jr., if this is your idea to be a practical effects showcase to show how great practical effects are, and I'm a huge fan of it, you fucking failed. Humongously. And again, I've seen recent films that unfortunately they were shitty movies, but the effects were not bad. Storage, what was it, 24? There was some film, and I thought The Creature looked pretty good, but the rest of the movie was crap. Go back quite a few other years. The Creatures in Feast, the effects in Feast. Project Greenlight. I like the movie itself. Much better, clever, imaginative. It took its risk, and sequels sucked, but the first one was pretty damn good. Scroll back more. There's a 1997 film, very low budget, called Aberration. The effects are not Oscar winning, but even without the effects, it was a low budget film that at least had some interesting, fun stuff to it, and better actors, and some fun gore moments. Hell, there's a film called The Deadly Spawn. The effects in The Deadly Spawn look better than this. And that's a better movie. I reviewed The Deadly Spawn. That's a cheap, low-budget film that costs a hell lot less than this. And The Deadly Spawn's effects look better. And that's a better movie. It was less boring. Moontrap with Walter Koenig and Bruce Campbell. Or Waxwork. I'm naming low-budget films from back in the day that do have better looking effects. Or even if you take the effects aside, you put them in a bubble, you put it over there, they're just better movies. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give credit to this movie and a pass because, come on, we gotta keep practical effects alive, so you can't hate on it. Just as practical effects. But first off, the rest of the movie is shitty. And then second off, even if you want to bring in the practical effects, which was supposed to be a practical effects showcase, they're subpar as fuck. And what's ironic is that the director-writer Alec Gillis spent a good portion of the Blu-ray of that movie taking a whole hunk of shit on Leviathan, and this film rips off shit from Leviathan, and that film is better. Now you say, well, yeah, people make fun of those effects. I'm sorry, those effects are fuckable better than the effects in this movie. Alec Gillis, oh, the teeth with the hand. Did I talk about Alien 3? That teeth and the hand in Leviathan looks better than any of the fucking effects in your movie. But you just say, well, man, that has a bigger budget. But you know what? It also has a cast worth the fuck. Does that really take budget? I mean, I've seen low-budget slasher films, like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. That has a great cast. That has a low budget. That cast is great. Also has witty, fun dialogue. Characters I give a fuck about. Great score. Nice production design. Elements that make it a good movie other than just special effects. Which doesn't even work in this case. The special effects aren't even that fucking great. And people go, you wanted to hate it. No, I'm the guy that wanted to love it. But then people go, oh, you put your sights up high. I never put my sights up high. I knew it was a low budget, but this film, without the end credits, is only an hour and 15 minutes, 16 minutes. And it can't even hold its attention for that long. Endless Descent, Deepstar Six, as well Leviathan. These are movies back in the 80s that are miles better than this. I mean, if I go into the in-depth, you have a shot of 1982, really enough, because get it, John Carpenter's The Thing was 1982, so here's this lunar module going down, 1982. Great, make me want to watch a better fucking movie. Oh, when people say that's a ripoff of The Thing, no, this film is more of a ripoff of The Thing, and a shitty ripoff. When people say that's a shitty ripoff of The Thing, you haven't seen Harbinger down yet. This lunar module goes down, and you have some CGI work in there. And it takes place in present day, or as it says in the title card, now. It takes place now. In case you don't get it, it takes place now. A little bit of found footage is used for these characters to get on this boat called Harbinger. Lance Henriksen's in it. He doesn't have much to do. See, I figured, okay, this is funded with Kickstarter. Let's have Lance star in it. That'd be interesting. Lance Henriksen starring in this kind of movie, being the hero or being the low soul survivor. That'd actually be rare. No, it's his daughter, granddaughter, I forget. And she is a horrendous actress, along with the rest of these characters. Lance is doing the best he can, but he has nothing to work with. These other characters, especially this girl, I'm thinking, did you pay her? Can you get the money back? Just like the people who funded this Kickstarter, can they get the money back? Because this is a ripoff for them. Who knows, maybe whoever funded this on Kickstarter, if you liked it, that's fine. I'm glad I didn't fund this now. If I funded this, I'd be like, hey, Alec, can I get my fucking money back, please? You have shitty dialogue, which, I'm sorry, I don't think that takes budget writing a script. You know, to write. Lance Harris is giving dialogue like, are you done with this goddamn tomfuckery? Instead of tomfoolery, he says tomfuckery. This pretty, if you want to say pretty, but I have no room to talk, so. But okay, you know what? She's pretty. Except she has no talent. She can't fucking act. Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the Thing prequel was a better actress than this. And I wasn't even a big fan. I hate that movie. And this movie is like taking shots from that movie. Not shots at, shots from. Because who's the lone survivor? Take a guess. Oh, it's the girl. Just like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And you even have a guy that looks like fucking Joel Edgerton from the fucking Thing prequel, pre-com. If Joel Edgerton and maybe, I don't know, fucking Fred Savage or someone fucked, and that'd be the guy with the has hair. Joel Edgerton. I'm like, and pretty much she's hanging around for some others to look for whales. I swear this girl who's the lead, she must need a fucking fuck stick to start her up. Does she need a fuck stick to start up her acting? If so, can we get a fuck stick in the picture? What's a fuck stick? I don't know. Then you have this token black chick. Oh, why do you say black chick? Because I have no other way to describe her character. Because there is nothing else to her character. There is an Asian guy. There's no other way to describe his character. You have a big guy who can barely talk. Looks like a fucking Will Sasso with a beard and a mustache. Who's big. You have Russian chick with funky eyes. And I'm like, are you stealing from Leviathan again? With the funky eyes chick, but she's Russian. You have a token black guy who's annoying as fuck. And some others you don't give a fuck about. Then you have block of ice, not from the ice, but from the ocean. And funny is the guy it's the lunar module, and the guy's Soviet. I'm like, yeah, just like they found Leviathan, they were Russians, Soviets. Considering Alec Gillis hated this movie, I mean, there are times where it reminded me of this fucking movie. And that's a better movie. Alec Gillis. Better than your piece of shit. Sorry, that does kill me. I mean, he talks so much shit about this film, but he makes such a fucking worthless piece of shit. Oh, the effects are not that great. And this is better! Low budget. I've seen playing low budget. The fucking Deadly Spawn has better effects. Moontrap has better effects. Death Machine has better effects. And a better movie. They're not good just because of effects either. There's better direction in Death Machine. There's better cast members and actors in Moontrap. And Death Machine. Hell, you got fucking Brad Dourif to have more to do than Lance Henriksen. And this is an hour and like 15, 16-minute movie. Hell, I'll just go watch Ice from the X-Files. Takes that's a 40, without commercials, 40-some minutes. And that's a better version of this movie. Ice from the X-Files. And they didn't have a budget. It was a much better shit than this. Some guy scared the black man. And then they'll look at this stuff. And this one guy who is sort of a boss for the lead talentless girl is saying stupid shit like, jump into this thing, hittity-pittity. Let's jump into this thing, hittity-pittity. Goddamn tomfuckery. Into this thing, hittity-pittity. Hittity-dot, you be sucking my cock. The cock struck goo. Two, I dropped my goo. I can't talk. Cause I'm fucked. This film pisses me off. Because even a film, it's just a worthless piece of shit movie. I don't see what there is to like about it. It's not the cast. What's so great about the cast? Nothing. You expect Oscar winners? There's a difference between Oscar winners and decent folks. And they're not even that. They're worthless folks. This Russian lady wants to fight the big guy. The Russian lady with the funky eyes trying to be Meg Foster and failing. A Russian Meg Foster and failing wants to fight this big guy. And then she has a star on her face. And all you know, because she gets into makeup school with the black chick, is, oh, my boyfriend did something to me. Great. Don't give a fuck. It's about 30 minutes until the creature arrives. Again, this is like an hour and 15-minute movie. And the first shot, it looks like a big lootie. And it spits fucking tendrils. Yeah, Tendrils. They're from that movie, The Crawlers. You know, the one that's alternate titles, Troll 3. The Crawlers, about the fucking killer trees. In fact, they should have been called The Crawlers. Or should have been called fucking Troll 3 Part 2. Or should have been called fucking Tendrils, the movie. Because most of the effects are just fucking tendrils. Have them go up my ass, please. And hit the fucking love button up top. At least I get some pleasure than watching the shit. Some fucking tendrils grab, and I think a head crushed. And I say I think because sometimes people die from shitty editing in this movie. Like, these guys have seen so many movies, been part of it, and they certainly have not learned anything about how to direct a fucking film. I'll tell you that much. You're being too harsh. No, I'm not being harsh enough. These fucking guys want to take this moment and be like, hey, this is... ease up on the CGI, folks. This is the movie. And I'm like, well, first off, it's a shitty movie around it. But maybe if it has... it doesn't even have great effects. There's nothing memorable. There's nothing even that fantastic. And this is their baby. They own the fucking company. The effects company. And I'm like, if this is the best you could do, then maybe, I guess this is a death of practical effects. If this is the best you could do. Because it's not Jack or shit, and Jack left town and went to sleep while watching your fucking movie. The one guy, and then you have this big fucking, before that, this big fucking lawn scene of the psychologist. The guy talking psychology with the big guy, and lame as fuck dialogue, attempts of humor that are poor. Maybe I have one. Yeah, films like that have actually funny dialogue. I know you've gone through hell. Gone? Bitch, we're still here. Good cast, likable characters. The music is generic as fuck in this movie. But the guy I was talking before, he is infected. You can tell because he's shirtless, and he's shaking. He lays down, and it looks like 3 fleshlights come out of his back. That's what it looks like. Really long, dawn silver type of pink fleshlights just jut out of his back. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I know John Carpenter's The Thing costs more than this, but we've gone so far. 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing here. 3 fleshlights come out of his back. With some Kool-Aid flying. Then the girl tries to act, but she has no fucking talent, so she's failing, and the elves steal a fuck about, oh, we're all exposed. Lance and this Asian guy see the creature and a bunch of tendrils with blue Christmas lights. That's what it looked like. If you take those blue Christmas lights that Clark Griswold would put outside, those Christmas lights, if they were blue, and they grab the Asian guy, and I guess somehow his arm comes off, because Lance is holding the guy's arm, and I'm like, I don't even know how they did that. It's like shitty directing. Shitty camera work. And then Lance's line, we need a bigger bucket. Yeah, you need a better script too. You need a better director. And you need a bigger dick to go say, hey, that's not good enough. You need a bigger ass to shit this movie out of into a fucking dumpster. Because it fucking stinks. And then they try to do these clever things. Hey, there's a shot, you see? There's a computer called Chess Wizard. Get it? When McCready's played chess, it says, you cheating bitch? Yeah, this fucking movie's a bitch. And then they see some teeth, some blades being pulled in. I'm like, fucking Deadly Spawn did it better. It was cheaper. They freeze it. You have more shitty tendrils, because most of the effects you see are shitty tendrils. This black guy, he is trapped, and some tendrils erupt from him to the sky. The Russian lady shoots a flare, and this film is so cheap that it cuts away to a wide shot of the ship with a little puff of CG fire, poof, like this. And you don't even see the guy burn. I guess we can't see him burn. It's just not in the budget. Sorry, folks. It's just not in the budget. We can't see the guy burn. We're just going to put a lot of red light on the people's faces. But, you know, we can't see him burn. It's just not in the budget. I'm sorry. We can't have just a fake body and tendrils and have the guy burn. It's just not in the budget. Sorry, folks. Just not in the budget. And this lead girl tries to act more. I'm like, she should be paying them. She should not be getting paid for this performance. She should be paying them for this shit. Then another fucking fleshlight comes out. And I'm like, I had to think for a sec of what happened next. Because this thing that looks like... Remember the flower thing in John Carpenter's The Thing that was made of the dog tons? Think of a cheap, shitty version of that. And I thought it grabbed the Russian chick, but I guess it grabbed the black chick and pulled her into a pipe. I'm like, great, you know, I could see the fucking remake of The Blob for that shit. Thank you for that. And then this thing, I guess it's the remains of her kind of walking legs, but it's so piss poor lighting that I'm like, okay, I guess that's it. And then the Russian girl gets taken and dragged, and they're like, we gotta blow it up. The lead girl walks in, there's some pink water shit. Tendril, she gets out. More shit lighting. Shit camera. You see this big thing. I couldn't really tell what the big thing was because I think the design was fucking lazy. Lazy as hell for the design of the creature. Like, Endless Descent. That actually has some fun designs of creatures. That's a film I want to review sometime. There's a lot of movies with fun designs. This film has such lazy, lackadaisical designs for its creatures, let alone the implementation of it. Like, there's this big thing, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that was. Because the camera is shaking like this, and the lighting is pretty dim. I'm like, the fuck is this? Fucking low-budget films like Creature back in the day had better, more fun effects than this. And I like the cast better. And there's just more stuff to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about. Just nothing. The story? There's nothing clever. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing imaginative. All they did was just copy the thing and put it on a little ship. That's all they did. Even Virus, that's a shitty movie. Of course, it has better effects because it has a bigger budget. But when I'm saying I'd rather watch fucking Virus than this movie, then that's saying something. This film is as bad to me as The Thing prequel. It has practical effects, great. It has shitty looking ones. It has nothing else going for it. Even I understand you need more than effects to make a movie work. The story is nothing. The acting is nothing. Lance, I like, he has nothing to do. The dialogue is shit. Build up of characters is shit. There's no suspense. There's no scares. It's predictable, because I guess that the fucking girl will be the lone survivor, and I was right. Lance gets infected. He's waiting for it. This shitty creature that, I swear, that this really does look like a ripoff of the Leviathan creature. Because this walk-in has got like a face here. I mean, it looks straight out of it. Attacks the big guy and stabs him, kills him. And I don't know what else. I think he killed her, that creature, but I couldn't tell. So I'm like, oh, okay, that creature just died from shitty editing. I mean, I guess I could tell. I shouldn't have to guess. It shows either how shitty the editing was or how unmemorable this fucking film was. This tiny explosion happens that they think this creature's dead and it's not. The guy with the beard is ready to freeze Lance. with this, because instead of flamethrowers, they just freeze it. Which I'm like, well, is it really dead then? I mean, wasn't that the point of films like The Thing, that it wouldn't be dead? But apparently they don't give a fuck in this instance. I mean, it's been frozen the whole time of fucking... And then... all they do... Again, the one time they burn something, and of course they cut away. And by the way, the guy with the fleshlights that came out was bad. The 3, how the fuck did that creature die? I don't remember that creature dying. I can't remember. Shows how great this movie's in my brain for. But the guy's ready to freeze lands. Tendril comes out. Yeah, more tendrils. Comes out of his chest. And has some blue Christmas lights on it. Pulls him away. And a shoddy looking shot of when the guy's being pulled back. Lance grabs this extinguisher, whatever, is trying to freeze the thing. Is attacked by blue Christmas lights. That's the last we see of Lance. Tendrils and blue Christmas lights. The girl is like, gotta ice the fucking shit. And you see a big creature, guess what? With a lot of tendrils in its mouth. Even fucking graboids. Those are cool designs. This film, it's just a creature with a... Imagination can go very far. But apparently not to Aladilis. His imagination is tendrils, tendrils, and more tendrils! More tendrils and more tendrils. Hey, we got more tendrils? No, we need more tendrils. We need more tendrils. Here's a big creature with a bunch of tendrils. And the ending is just... the girl, I think, jumped off. The boat hits an iceberg. She's laying down. The movie ends. And that's the movie, Harbinger down. How does she kill the creature? Again, she jumps off the ship. The ship hits an iceberg. I guess the ice went over the ship. She's laying there. The movie's over. That's literally how it ends. No suspense. No scares. No badass moments. No memorable dialogue. It ends on a... what? And this whole movie was a big... what? This movie is a worthless piece of shit. I have nothing good to say about this movie. It is one of the worst films I've seen all year. I can't believe that, you know, of the stuff that gets funded. I was curious about this. Practical effects. Hey, Alec Gillis, Tyrone Jr. Should have known they liked Alien 3, but Leviathan's a piece of shit. But that's not fair. People have their opinions. I understand. We all have our opinions. Hey, if we all liked and hated the same thing, it'd be a boring world. But if you like this film, that's fine. I don't understand it, but that's fine. But to me, this film offered nothing. I mean, even the effects, there was no imagination behind it. There's no ingenuity behind it. I mean, I could go in my room and show you dozens of low-budget horror films, sci-fi films from back in the day that have more imagination, ingenuity, better dialogue, better direction. Hell, even low-budget slasher films like Intruder have excellent effects and more clever direction by Scott Spiegel. I mean, I can find a bunch of them. I really can. In my room over there. I've talked about a bunch of them. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of shell-shocked about it too, and I really needed to try to go to bed, but I had to get this out of my basement. Had to get this shit out of my fucking basement, because this fucking movie is fucking bullshit. It's not that bad. What's so fucking good about it then? Subpar beyond hell effects, shitty acting, shitty characters, Lance having nothing to do, fucking blue Christmas lights, bunch of fucking fleshlights coming out of a guy's back. That's what they look like, pink fleshlights. What other color fleshlight would be? I don't know, because I don't use them. I would imagine what a fleshlight would look like. If Long Don Diggler or whoever the fuck used it, it'd be pink. This movie's a big pussy that should be fucked. And then thrown away like a used condom. I got nothing else to say about this movie. I said that before. Fuck this movie. It is one of the worst films. It is definitely disappointing. This movie is a pile of fucking horse piss. Horse shit. And yeah. Alec Gillis, you talk as much shit about that movie. That movie kissed the shit out of your fucking movie any day, week, month, year, and century. And now I feel better. A lot better. Later.